Hello there, Algebra kids. We are just a few assignments left here. I hope you're doing well and staying up with things, and some of you will be done early than others, and others might be just getting to this at the last minute. So I hope not. Hope we're getting things accomplished as soon as we can and making the most of our time right now. So this is 10.3, solving radical equations, because we are that cool that we can be radical. In this case, the radical is a name that you give to the square root sign. Okay, so this symbol right here, you know it's a square root, but it's actually called a radical sign because there's no other numbers written with it. You could have this, which is a cube root. Okay, and again, that's a radical sign. You could have this, which is a fourth root. Okay, fourth roots, fifth roots, sixth roots, things like that. But what we're looking at today is just solving those. And if you're solving something, you need to be able to work things backwards. So like if you're adding 2, you subtract 2. So subtraction is the inverse of addition. Division is the inverse of multiplication. So you have to have those inverse operations. So if you have a square root, the inverse of square rooting is going to be squaring or taking something to the second power. Okay? So equations like this, when you have a square root in here, if you want to solve for the d, if you have a square root, you'd have to start by squaring both sides. So just like you add 2 to both sides, you can square both sides. So that would give us r squared equals, the square of a square root just cancels things off. You do not square the 16. So the 2 takes that square root off, and then you can multiply the 16 over, and you get 16 times r squared equals d. So the d equals 16r squared. Okay? So that's how you will be using square roots to solve, or using square patterns to solve square roots. Okay? So if we have to solve this, we have 5 equals the square root of x plus 20. A sec, let me see how this is coming. Is that over there? So you're going to start by squaring both sides, and you get 25 equals, now that square just takes the square root off, so x plus 20, now you minus the 20 for both sides, you get x equals 5. That should be your answer. 5 plus 20 is 25, square root of 25 is 5. That's checking your answer. Okay, square both sides, 16 equals x minus 18. Again, this one is the easy side, you don't do anything except take the house down. So the squared is the big bad wolf that comes and blows the house away. Add 18 to both sides, and you get x equals 34. If you have other things with the x, you can minus this over first. So square root of x equals 1. Now you square both sides, and x equals 1. Okay, this one you can divide by negative 2. So 1.5 equals square root of x. Square both sides, and you get x equals 2.25. Whoa, Mr. Lightner's cool, you can square a decimal that fast. Yeah, because I know what 15 squared is. Remember, we talked about that. 15 squared. 15 times 15 is 225, so 1.5 squared would be 2.25. Same numbers, just a different decimal location. Okay, so these are all what they call a radical equation. That's just an equation with a radical sign. Probably not proper to use both terms in the explanation, but that's what it is. If 2 expressions are equal, if a equals b, then a squared equals b squared. So a lot of practice with these, a couple different variations we're going to see. I'm just going to go through these, and you try to work ahead or stop it and work out a few of them, and then jump ahead, see if you did them right. So square root of x equals 4. Square both sides, x equals 16. Here, add the 3 over first, plus 3, so 11 equals square root n, square both sides, n equals 121. Add the 15. 3 times the square root of a would equal 9. Divide by 3, square root of a equals 3, so a equals 9. Again, check. Square root of 9 is 3. 3 times 3 is 9. 9 minus 15 is negative 6. Okay, minus the 7. Here you get the square root of s minus 3 equals 4. You do not add the 3 over right now because the 3 is inside the square root. So you square both sides, and you get s minus 3 equals 16. Now add the 3 over, s equals 19. Okay, this one, do not distribute into a square root. So we're going to divide by 6. Get the square root of t minus 2 equals 2. Square both sides, t minus 2 equals 4, so t equals 6. Okay, so there's that squaring step happening right there. Minus the 2, 3 times the square root of 3x minus 6 equals 18. Divide by 3. Now when I divide by 3, it takes that one off. It does not do anything on the inside, just on the outside. So square root of 3x minus 6 equals 6. So 3x minus 6 equals 36. 3x equals 42. So x equals 13? 14. Okay. Number 7. You get square roots on both sides. Okay. The main thing here is check your answer when you're done. Sometimes you get an answer that doesn't actually work. So we'll see if that works, if any of that happens here. So I'm just going to square both sides. And so what happens here, if the square root of d equals the square root of 5d minus 8, d has to equal 5d minus 8. Minus the 4d over. So negative 3d equals negative 8. Oh wait, why am I minusing? Minus 5, that should be the answer. Negative 4d equals negative 8. So d equals 2. So check that. Square root of 2. Does the square root of 2 equal the square root of 5 times 2 minus 8? Well, 5 times 2 is 10. 10 minus 8 equals root 2. So yes, you get the square root of 2 on both sides. That's a decimal, but at least it's the same on both sides. The insides have to equal each other. 3c minus 2 equals 4c minus 6 minus 3c. So negative 2 equals c minus 6 plus the 6 over, so c equals 4. Check it. 3 times 4 is 12. 12 minus 2 is 10. 4 times 4 is 16. 16 minus 6 is 10. So square root of 10 equals square root of 10. Got the right answer. 4b minus 4 equals 2b plus 4 minus the 2b. 2b minus 4 equals 4. Add the 4 over. 2b equals 8, so b equals 4. A lot of 4's here. So 4b is 16. 16 minus 4 is 12. So we get 12 on that side. 2 times 4 is 8. 8 plus 4 is 12. You get 12 on that side. Okay? So z minus 12 equals z over 3 minus 3. Now you know what? I don't like working with fractions. I'm going to take everything times 3. So 3z minus 36 equals z minus 9. How about that trick? Get rid of fractions. Okay, so 3 times z is 3z, 3 times 12 is 36, 3 times 1/3 z, 3 times 1/3 is 1, so that's 1z, 3 times 3 is 9. So minus the z over, 2z, add the 36, equals 27. Yep. So z is going to equal 13.5. Did we do that right? I'm starting to question my... Okay, 9 plus 36. Alright, so let's check that. Let's see if we did something right. So 13.5 minus 12 is 1.5. So I get square root of 1.5 on that side. And on the right side, if I take 13.5, this is where I think divided by 3, that's 4.5 minus 3, I get the 1.5. We did it right. So I got some weird numbers, but when I plug them in, I get the same thing on both sides. So we're okay. 2v over 3 plus 10 equals 4v minus 10. So again, I don't want the fractions. I'm going to take everything times 3. So those 3 cancel. 2v plus 30 equals 12v minus 30. So bring that there, bring that there. So 60 equals 10v, v equals 6. So that'd be 14 on that side and 14 on that side. So we're good on both of those. Okay, these are on the same side. take this over here. So you just get the square root of 3w plus 1 equals the square root of 6w. So 3w plus 1 equals 6w, so 1 equals 3w, w equals 1/3. So I brought that over there. And that would be 1 plus 1, which is 2. 6 times 1/3 is 2. Okay, I think this assignment, I don't think we have anything here. Let me pull up the assignment is. This was 10.3. Getting close, kids. You get here, you're there. Finish strong. Stay focused. Yeah, hopefully this doesn't take too long to load. Should have done this earlier. Okay, so square roots, all that. Okay, so we got some cube roots in there, and that's it. So cube roots. That's the only other thing. So if you have a cube root is a number to a 3rd power. Okay, so if this is a 3, you have to take both sides to the 3rd power. If this was a 4, you'd have to take both sides to the 4th power. So here you'd get 125 equals x. That means the cube root of 125 is 5. So x equals 125. Okay. Again, you have a cube root. Whatever number is there, you're going to take that to the 3rd power. Make sure you're using parentheses. So you get negative 27 equals x plus 2 minus the 2, so x equals negative 29. Okay. You can cube root both sides here. So we get 7m minus 3 equals m plus 9. So minus the 9, negative 12 equals negative 6m. What's the hard way with that? M equals 2. Okay. You get down here, those of you who need something to do, when you square both sides, you have to use one of your special cases. You have to double distribute that. That's what makes it harder, and then solving them, you have to use some of the quadratics, the graphs and stuff. So we're not there yet. K plus 6 squared, you have to take k plus 6 times k plus 6. That equals 2k plus 15. So k squared plus 12k plus 36 equals 2k plus 15. Bring everything over. K squared plus 10k plus 16. 21, there we go, equals 0. Now you can factor this into k plus 3 times k plus 7 equals 0. So you get negative 3 and negative 7. But I will tell you, when you plug negative 7 in, you don't get the same thing on both sides. So this one would be negative 3. This goes back to some of that factoring and solving quadratics. Okay? So that's how those wrap up. If you ever have any word problems, usually it's just plugging numbers in and calculating what it should be. Okay? That looks a little bit more. So I may work some of these out yet, and that'll be it, but this is, you have enough to finish the lesson here. So 0 equals b squared plus 2b plus 1. 0 equals b plus 1 squared. Factoring that, b equals negative 1. And when you plug that in, that actually does not work. So this one would have no solution. 3p plus 19 equals p squared minus 6p plus 9. So p squared minus 9p minus 10 equals 0. So 0 equals p minus 10 times p plus 1. And the only answer there would be 10. P equals 10. Negative 1 would not work if you plug it in. R squared minus 2r plus 1 equals r plus 5. R squared minus 3r minus 4 equals 0. So r minus 4 times r plus 1 equals 0. So r equals 4 would be the only one that works there. Usually the positive answer is the one that works. So if you minus 6 over, you get the square root of 2x minus 1 equals negative 3. This one, the square roots have to equal a positive number. Okay? So right here, you know this is no solution. Because you can't square a number and get a negative number like that. K squared minus 2k plus 1 equals 5k minus 9. So k squared minus 7k plus 10 equals 0. So k minus 2 times k minus 5 equals 0. So you get 2 and 5. 2 would work. 5 would work. So here you do get two answers. K equals 2 and k equals 5. That one, both of them do work. Okay. All right, I need to get ready. We got class coming. I'm going to see you all in just a little bit, and it's only April 8th, but we'll see when you actually get to watch this video. So we'll see you later. Hope your days are going well. Okay, stay busy, stay active, get outside, exercise, do something to make yourself a better person, like math. Let's go.